Hi, and welcome to The Art of Pointy Things, a channel where I discuss my adventures in knitting, sewing and other similar crafts. I am Dusty, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing, at the 3-month mark, my socks knitted from a wool bamboo blend. So for those of you who don't know, socks are normally, traditionally, at least in the circles I move in, knit from a wool nylon blend. Now, nylon is a petroleum-based synthetic material. So, especially a lot of, I sit in the trying to do better for the environment camp of trying to reduce the amount of plastics I use and rely on in my day-to-day life. So, in that regard, I want to use less nylon and things like that in my knitting and other areas. Also, there are concerns about things called microplastics. So when you wash your polyester nylon-based garments, they shed microplastics, microfibers that go into the water stream and out into the ocean. And there's a lot of concern about the impact that that has on the planet, marine life, even us. So, it's one of those things we do want to try. I at least personally feel that I should try and reduce. So one of the alternatives I have found, you can get 100% wool socks, but I've seen some people have problems with them wearing through. So I found and I've seen other people sell, this is BFL, Blue Face Leicester, and Bamboo. Now bamboo, how do you spin bamboo? So if you've ever heard of rayon, and I believe it's viscose, it is a plant-based fibre. You can use it to weave clothing. The rayon I've always found has a very silk-like property. And it is so rayon and viscose is a material that has been used for multiple years. It's traditionally made of wood pulp that you then process somehow, and you create long fibres that you can then spin and dye and weave and make garments. That's sort of how it's made. There is questions about how environmentally friendly. It depends on the processing of the fibres. So you can do this process with bamboo. That's where I'm coming from. You can also do it with plenty of other fibres. There is a question about the environmentalism of that process. It can be very resource intensive. It really depends on who's processing it. The benefit for me, at least, with bamboo, and the reason I like it, at least from the research I've done, is that it's not a very water intensive crop. So if you're growing it, you don't need to water it constantly. So you're not, using too much water, which is a concern. It's also very pest resistant, which means that you don't need to use, or you need to use less pesticides. So it's a lot easier to grow organically and get a good harvest out of. And to be honest, anybody who's ever had something like bamboo in their garden, my mum had it when I was a kid, you can very much tell that it grows fast, it grows quickly. It's in terms of plant-based fibres, cotton does, a lot of people do complain about some of the issues cotton has in that, it is very water intensive and it is very not very pest hardy. So you need a lot of pesticides, you need a lot of water to grow, which isn't great for the environment. Bamboo, at least from what I've read, is better. So the next question is though, bamboo's better than cotton, or at least in my opinion, bamboo's better than cotton. Bamboo's sort of slightly more environmentally friendly than polyester nylon, but does it hold up? Because as I mentioned before, I've known a few people who've knit 100% wool socks who have said, it doesn't really hold up as well, even if you use the really hardy breeds. And, in my opinion, so I have been wearing these for about 3 months. I will admit I don't wear them out a lot. I don't wear them in shoes a lot. I don't have many wool socks, so I tend to just use them as house socks, sleep socks. But they have been worn out a bit, mainly because I did want to test them. So these have been worn for about 3 months. And in all honesty, I can't see any holes. If we go to the heel area, you can see it's been flattened a bit, and felted a bit. There we go, see it's been felted a bit. But it's not wearing as far as I can see. I'm also sorry, I did pull these out of the washing pile. But this is the time I sort of have to film video, so I sort of have to just go with it. It's covered in dog hair. As I mentioned before, I have a white dog who is shedding everywhere at the moment. So it's bobbling a little bit from the wear. But if we also then look at the toe, like, you know, I wouldn't say there's any wear or anything. It looks pretty good. I mean, as I said, it's only 3 months and I've not really worn them out and about too much. I would want to try and create a sort of, I might make a short in 6 months as a sort of recap to see where they are. But I think it's one of those things, you know, I do want to be more conscious of this. See again with this one, you know, you've got the felting on the bottom of the heel. But if anything, that makes it stronger, in my opinion. What's this? So I think this is a 80% superwash Blueface Leicester, 20% nylon, 20% bamboo even. And the benefit, I mean, suppose I'm using Blueface Leicester and bamboo, which is, merino is sort of the typical choice for socks normally, because merino is a very soft yarn. You get very soft socks. BFL, at least again from my research, from my understanding, is a little bit, it's less soft but more hard wearing. So I don't know if that has impacted it as well. But, you know, minimal, I mean, you know, as I said, a bit of felting, but there's no, it's not like thinning or anything as far as I can see. And yeah, a bit of bobbling, but you expect that with wool. You expect a bit of bobbling. I mean, they do look a bit, yeah. I do want to wash them. I think also I'd like to point out that the cables have come out beautifully. Also, if you're wondering, you know, what brand, what colour, so this is actually Chester wool undyed that I then dyed with rhubarb leaves and nettles. So the rhubarb leaves, I have a video on that and why I did that, so I'll link that up at the top. But in all, that's sort of all I really wanted to say. If you have any questions, if you have any sort of experience yourself with bamboo, then please leave that below. I'm always interested in what other people think. Also, your other personal choices for plastic-free socks, petroleum-free socks. You know, why, what, how. I'd love to hear it. But that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, then please leave a like and comment below and consider subscribing if you want to see other knitting and sewing related content from me. Yeah, I have a monthly knitting roundup, so, you know, feel free to subscribe and go watch my latest episode or whatever. But thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day.